Welcome to F.O.D. Overdrive, the podcast that keeps you up on your Friday nights. We're a three-man team that also has a weekly conservative terrestrial program from 3 to 5 p.m. on Sundays on 94.9 News Now, WJJF in Connecticut, Long Island, and Rhode Island, called F.O.D. FreedomOnDeck. To live stream the station and to listen to our program, go to freedomondeck.com and click Listen Live. I'm Mean Chet Martin. Here with me is the Long Island redneck, Brian Bro. Brian, say hello to the people.
Get involved or stay on the porch.
And the fearless one himself, CV Burton. CV, tell him how you feel.
Keep America great!
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, you know, the week started out with two communist debates on your Wednesday and your Thursday. On your Wednesday, you had a bunch of no-names up there, and that was what I would call round one. The extras from the Democrat Party getting down. I watched about 15 minutes of it, and then there were some reruns of Alf on, Brian, and I decided to tune into that instead. And the second night was just a bunch of the same old, blaming Trump for everything, who's the racist, who's pandering more. That was the most important thing that I got out of these Democrat debates, guys.
Ugh.
But
I wanted. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Oh no, I was just saying it was like the most amount of hot air that I've ever seen on TV. I mean, they could have filled some hot air balloons.
Yeah,
it's pretty spectacular.
yeah, it was.
It was
good
almost
stuff.
like, isn't there that hot air balloon event that's in like Lake George annually in the summertime? Maybe they could go there, do the debate, and get a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, they could bring the Trump baby balloon with them. I'm sure they'd enjoy that. All right, so guys, I'm sure these names may not be household names to you, but I'm talking about Alberto Martinez Ramirez, 25, and Valera Ramirez, who is 13 months, of El Salvador. The picture that was plastered all over social media, and we're talking about this picture out of the Rio Grande of the father and daughter that were found drowned face first in the embankment on our southern border. It was tremendously heartbreaking. You can see the two in the reeds with the little girl draped under her father's shirt as if she was clinging to him in order to survive. Now, on Wednesday, all of the left-wing rags and politicians, including Beto O'Rourke, laid blame on President Trump, his administration, and the Border Patrol, none of which had anything to do with this horrific situation. To blame the president is not only irresponsible, it's outright dangerous. Look, it's a dangerous trek, and people die on the Rio Grande on a weekly basis. And that's been happening not only under the Trump administration, but under Obama, Bush, Clinton, and beyond. Now, Brian, the left has weaponized this photo, and they really have. But shouldn't the blame go to the left, who have incentivized the migrants to cross over the southern border?
Absolutely. How could you have any other answer than that? The thing that ticks me off about the way that the Democrats operate is they dig their heels in, they do nothing, they obstruct. Then when something like this happens, they want to pass the blame and play the victim. It's like, enough is enough. President Trump administration was slighted to carry out raids across the country this past week, of which he backed off on.
Right.
Because Nancy Pelosi called the president and said, give us an opportunity to come up with a solution. He said, "Fine. You got 30 days. If nothing happens, then we go back to the raids. Then they're being deported." And then this happens. So how do you blame him in one token when you are the one who initiated the let us have the opportunity to come up with a solution?
I don't know how you do it. CV, this image was definitely weaponized, and it seems like they want to blame Trump more than they want to mourn the victims.
This looks a lot like the photograph that we saw in France, was it? When the refugees were coming over on rickety boats that couldn't even hold all the masses of people, and there was a little boy lying face down on the beach. It's all propaganda, once again. I don't even know if that photo is real. Could have been posed. I don't know. But the situation at the border is a crisis, just like he said. So why is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer going around saying, "What crisis? It's a manufactured crisis"? And now they're the ones who initiated the crisis in the first place by encouraging these caravans to invade our borders. And then they pretend like that's all in Trump's imagination all of a sudden. And now you see dead people washing up on the shore, and now it's back to a crisis again. They can't make up their freaking minds.
Look, I have apathy for their plight, but the reality of the situation on the southern border is that incentivizing these migrants to cross a river like the Rio Grande is the policy of the left that's killing these innocent people. And these images that break our heart don't mean that we should be borderless, Brian, right?
Exactly. And states like New York, the one that we happen to be I guess you'd say unlucky to be in, is giving them licenses. And I just saw a thing the other day that a couple assemblymen from up in, I believe it was Orange County and Dutchess, and they were talking about how this new bill that New York giving them the free licenses, they also put a bill in that they snuck by on Tuesday that allows them to anybody that registers or applies for a driver's license, gets a driver's license, is automatically registered to vote. And in the language of the law, states that if they vote knowingly or unknowingly, that they do not have the right to vote in the United States as an illegal immigrant, they have not committed a crime in the state of New York. So that means they can vote. So you're giving them free college, you're giving them licenses, you're letting them vote, you're giving them sanctuary. I mean, why the hell else would you not want to come here?
Exactly. I mean, that's and nobody takes the initiative to tell these people that there is an issue at the border.
Yeah.
We have people being raped. We have coyotes smuggling humans, and the Democrats just totally turn a blind eye to it, CV.
Yeah, and these two people, this father and daughter, these are just the latest ones. There been several other bodies washed up in the Rio Grande over there. But these particular two, they crossed over from El Salvador into some Mexican camp where they were awaiting to process an asylum request, when they admit that the only reason they're there is financial, because they're trying to escape poverty. Poverty does not qualify as an asylum situation. You don't just cross over, skip over Mexico and come directly to the pass go and collect $500 and go into the United States where the economy's better. That's not asylum. And that's what I've been saying all along. The asylum policy is a bunch of crap. It's a backdoor method of getting illegal aliens in, quote unquote, legally.
No, and it's sad to see Beto O'Rourke come out and blame President Trump and the administration and Also, by the way, guys, he said ICE should be abolished because of things like these, situations like these. Let me tell you something, Beto, and all you leftists out there.
Beta.
This was happening under Obama. This was happening under Bush. Right now, they're using it because it's politically behoovant to take a picture of a man and his child face down in the Rio Grande, where I can guarantee you, Brian, that there have been hundreds of situations just like this where they could have taken pictures when Barry was the president, but they chose not to because it wouldn't have been behoovant to their cause.
Oh, are you kidding me? They're out there, though, brother. They're out there. They just had that picture of the children with the Mylar, looked like a tinfoil. It looks like a tinfoil blanket, and and they're sitting there, laying on the floor. Well, guess what? That was in 2015. That was not now. During this administration, that was the other administration, and it's funny that they want to talk about this border. What about the 15,000 troops that Mexico was supposedly sending to our southern border or to the Mexican northern border with the United States to stop this stuff?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, I think they did send them, but has it really stopped it? We're gonna know more about that over the next couple months. And we'll see whether President Trump gets on their ass about it. But listen, folks, are you getting frustrated with the trusted conservative sites and magazines turning left? Do you really want to read Bill Kristol and the National Review? Is the Weekly Standard supporting our president enough? I don't think so. Instead, go to thenewamerican.com and get your subscription to the New American magazine. You can get both the magazine and online subscriptions, and you can read pro-Trump, truly conservative contributors from our good friend to the show, Alex Newman, and Bill Hahn, and so many others. Go to thenewamerican.com. You won't regret it, and tell them Freedom on Deck sent you. All right, guys, so this topic is kind of interesting to me. We got Occasional Cortex, as Michael Savage would call her, AOC. She refused to go to an invitation in visiting the concentration camps with Holocaust survivors. On Sunday, Socialist Representative AOC from New York declined an invitation from a Holocaust remembrance group to visit Nazi concentration camps with a Holocaust survivor, suggesting that it was part of a far-right scheme designed for political gain. AOC made the remarks in response to a tweet from Rep. Steve King, who was kicked off his congressional committees by Republican leaders after remarks he made about white nationalism. Yeah, well, we'll get into that at another time. In a tweet tagging AOC and linking to a report from The Hill, King encouraged AOC to accept the invite from the Holocaust Remembrance Group. King wrote, AOC, I went to Auschwitz and with Eddie Malsberg and Johnny Daniels. With the in-depths, I went in with a deep understanding of the Shoah and a profound personal experience. Please accept their offer. Now, Brian, this all stems from AOC comparing the border camps to Auschwitz, right? And she doesn't want to accept this invite to look at the actual concentration camps, which I think is a slap in the face and makes her cause even more low and disgusting. What do you think about this?
Well, I think that she's an anti-Semitic piece of trash. And so it doesn't surprise me that she wouldn't go see where millions of Jews were killed and burned alive and gassed alive and all other types of atrocities, medical experiments performed on them, radiation experiments performed on them by the Nazis. And so it doesn't surprise me. She's a piece of garbage. I hate the woman. I can't believe that anybody in the Bronx would vote for this piece of shit. And so that's my feelings on her. I saw a picture of her crying at the southern border, or it was like, or I'm sorry, not at the southern border, but one of these, I guess, gates for one of these detention centers, and she's crying at the gates. And when I first saw the picture, I guess a little hope, a little glimmer of light shined in my eye, and I thought maybe she had stepped into the Mexican side of our southern border, and the Border Patrol agents had shut the gate behind her. But I wasn't that fortunate, and neither were you or anybody listening. So but she, there she is, fake crying, and she's got time to do that. She's got time to do that, but she doesn't have time to go see where the actual real atrocities of the 20th century happened. It's disgusting.
CV, it was a Holocaust remembrance group that asked her to come and, look at what she had made light of. And she said, this is what she said on her Twitter. The last time you went on this trip, she was responding to Steve King, it was reported that you also met with fringe Austrian neo-Nazi groups to talk shop. So I'm going to have to decline your invite, but thank you. Now, but this is in response to Steve King, but it wasn't Steve King that made the reach out to her. It was a Holocaust remembrance group, and she can't even get that right. I hate this woman. She knows no boundaries.
And then she says, the only reason he's offering her this trip over there is for political optics.
Right.
Using this crisis, this horrible crisis, for political gain. That's what the left always do. They always blame the other side for exactly what they're doing. What was the whole purpose of her comparing the situation at the border to concentration camps? She was trying to make political hay out of an atrocity, a humanitarian disaster where millions and millions of people were tortured to death, and she's comparing that to housing children where they could be safe. What does she want? She want the children to be let loose into the country where they could be raped and used and abused and sleep out on the street? Is that what she wants?
And
go ahead, Brian. CV's making a great point. What are we supposed to do with all of these children and people that are coming to our southern border and crossing our border? What are we supposed to do? What is there a suggestion? What do they just let them go? Just release them. Don't know who they are. They could be ISIS terrorists. Don't care. Just let everybody go through.
Well, the Democrat Party needs them for their satanic rituals, So they want them to
but I'm being serious. I'm being serious. What is the solution?
Yeah.
It's like it's sick.
They have no solution. And just so you guys know, it was Johnny Daniels, the founder from The Depths, that wrote the open invitation to AOC, asking her to participate in the educational tour during her summer recess from Congress. From The Depths, President Edward Mossberg, a Holocaust survivor, would travel with her from the tour, which includes a visit to Auschwitz and from the Majdanek concentration camps. So this was not from Steve King. This was the real deal, and she declined. Sad. Really sad.
Yep.
All right,
but not surprising.
But not surprising.
It's not surprising. It is sad, though. So everybody that loves AOC, just know she is a anti-Semite, for sure. We know that, right?
She doesn't even write her own material. We know that she's an actress.
Yeah, that's true.
She sucks as an actress. dude, the pictures of her at that stupid gate, man. She's supposedly crying. She's got her hands over her face and everything. And then they show like the picture of her looking like, dude, no tears. No tears whatsoever.
I saw it in her white suit.
Yeah, in a stark white suit.
Pathetic. Pathetic.
Nothing says white privilege like your stark white suit there, AOC.
All right, guys. So one of our sponsors, it's a motorsports team, Midget Motorsports, family-owned and operated NASCAR modified team based out of East Hampton, New York. You'll see them full-time at Riverhead Raceway, also part-time schedule on the NASCAR Wheelin' Modified Tour. Number 4 is Corey Midget. The driver entered full body cars in the Charger division at Riverhead in 2012 and won Rookie of the Year and won a total of 4 races in 4 years. It's their 4th year in the modified division. The family, Brian Sr., Michael, Brian Jr., and Corey, rely on outside donations. If you're interested in helping this Trump-supporting race team, contact Brian Sr. at the number 516-236-8498. All profits go to Corey's ability to continue racing. You'll see the Freedom on Deck logo on the car this season in Connecticut and Long Island, along with their Trump sticker and flag. So make sure you go out and check that Trump supporting team, man. I mean, you know, we love racing and we hope you do too. Listen, this is wild. We talk about Project Veritas a lot, guys. A new Project Veritas video includes testimony from a whistleblower, leaked internal documents, and undercover footage of a Google employee discussing how the company is working to prevent the next Trump situation. And it's been pulled by YouTube and platform owned by Google due to privacy claimed by a third party. This is the second Project Veritas Big Tech expose video taken down by the platform in 2 weeks. On Monday, Veritas released its latest Big Tech report, this time focusing on ways an insider says Google manipulates what information its users access in order to promote an ideological and political agenda. In the video, the whistleblower, whose identity is protected, walks Project Veritas James O'Keefe through internal Google documents that he says show the search engine is a highly biased political machine that manipulates searches for the purpose of promoting its fair and equitable priorities, filtering out or de-emphasizing even factual information if its creators deem that information unfair. To accomplish this, the company works to prevent algorithmic unfairness. So here we go, guys.
I'll tell you something, man.
Go ahead.
Senator Ted Cruz, I mean, he put that Google chick on the spigot and roasted her rear end, bro.
Yeah, I heard it.
I'll tell you, it was. I love him. I hope in 2024, when President Trump is leaving office, I hope that Ted Cruz is waving him on, because Ted Cruz is taking over as the president. Like, let me tell you something, man. He got it lock, stock, and barrel. He knew he had all of the documents. He had all the video evidence. And, you know, it's absolutely appalling that we spent 2 years listening to Russia collusion, which ended up being the biggest BS lie that the American people have been given. And then, and forget about the money that was wasted, and then to have an American company, an American tech company that is the largest search engine on the internet globally, sitting there saying how they are actively trying to stop the ability of a sitting president to be reelected duly in this country is unbelievable.
Yeah, but CV, what Brian was referring to was Ted Cruz's cross-examination, and she said that there was no bias.
I laughed out loud every time she lied. Every time she was asked a question, she said, "Thank you," and then lie. She's the politest liar I've ever heard. But
smug
as all get out. And this phrase, algorithm fairness, is the high-tech version of political correctness. And them saying, we want to be sure that, you know, we're a big company with our resources, we can stop the next Trump situation. In other words, somebody like Trump they want to stop next time, or stop him in 2020.
Right.
That is horrendous. I mean, they should be hung out to dry. I mean, they should be charged for this. This is why don't we have civil rights for our beliefs, our political beliefs? Why is that not a thing?
Well, it is. You have the right. You have the right to freedom of speech. You have the right to freedom of press. You have the right to peacefully assemble in protest. You absolutely have those rights, and it's already been determined that you have the right to your political beliefs, also your religious beliefs.
I agree, but ideology is not a protected class for some strange reason.
Well, I mean, forget about ideology. I don't need to. I forget about the ideology part of it. I am a conservative, and I am a registered Republican voter. I have the right to speak my opinion. I have the right to tell my friends, my neighbors, people on the street, about why I vote the way I vote and why they should vote the way I vote. That's my opinion.
Right.
That's my belief. And that's protected. And that's not something that a tech company has the right to shut me up on.
Correct. Your ideology, CV, is protected. Because, freedom of speech is your ideology.
Right, constitutionally. But there's this other thing where there's this protected class, and they don't include ideology in that. They only include race. And no, I agree with you 100%. Constitutionally, we should be protected, but for some strange reason, we're not.
Well, yeah, that's
maybe we should be fighting more for the Constitution as conservatives, as Republicans, as Americans. You know, we are a constitutional republic. We're not a democracy.
No,
we're a constitutional republic.
You're damn right.
It's about time. You want to lose everything that you believe in, then do nothing.
They were caught similarly before. Same with Facebook and Twitter. They were all caught by Veritas, but nobody does anything. They go in front of Congress, they get questioned, they look like idiots, they go away, and they continue it, and they actually accelerate their biased policies.
Project Veritas has caught Twitter, the employees of Facebook. They've caught the DNC line.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood with the selling of body parts.
Right. And
they all everything.
Yeah, but they all get dragged in front of Congress. They get questions. They look like
idiots. And nothing happens.
And nothing happens, exactly.
Right. We need to do something about it. Listen, okay. So we're going to get to the last topic here. Folks, the John Birch Society helped America elect President Reagan in 1980 and President Donald J. Trump in 2016. They've rallied the conservative base for over 50 years. Go to jbs.org and join up and receive a good conservative group behind you. JBS has affiliates like the New American Magazine, American Opinion Foundation, Freedom Project Media, and Freedom Project Academy. Print membership is $87. Digital membership is only $47. So, do your thing over at JBS. We're all members, right, guys?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
So that's what's up. Listen, this last topic is wild, and I want to talk about it because I know it's not a big deal, but to me it kind of is. It's just the way the left is so unhinged. We need to point it out sometime. Wayfair employees are making it absolutely clear that they don't want their company supplying orders for migrant camps. Now, keep in mind, folks, I am reading this from the Daily Beast. This is how they are wording it, Brian, CV. This is how the leftists are wording it. Let me read this to you and tell me this isn't fucked up. All right? It's been a week since Wayfair employees learned that their company supplied $200,000 in an order to a private company that runs migrant camps, housing children along the southern border. After raising their concerns with the company, those employees are now planning a walkout today in protest of Wayfair's profiting of jailing children. This is from the Daily Beast. Jailing children. That's what they're saying here. Unbelievable. Employees of the furniture and home goods giant first sent a letter to the company's management asking for more transparency, and with two other main asks: that Wayfair cease all current and future sales to contractors who run migrant detention camps, and the company establishes a code of ethics that employees for Wayfair and its employees to act in accordance with our core values. So they did.
You know what they should do? They should fire every one of them. Everyone that walks out, they should fire them, because this economy is so strong right now. There will be people lining up for those jobs. And let me tell you another thing. I have ordered from Wayfair. We ordered like it's like almost like a trunk. It's a storage trunk, coffee table type thing. We ordered it way back before we bought our house. We were living in a basement apartment. We didn't have a lot of money, and we bought one of these coffee tables, storage coffee tables. It came to us and it had a little damage. It was missing it had these hammered in raw iron tabs or whatever you want to call them. So they said, not a problem. We'll ship you out another one. If you don't hear from us in 3 weeks, you can take the one that's damaged and donate it to a local charity that you would like to donate it to. That's it. Didn't ask anything else. That was all that they said. We didn't hear from them. We donated the other damaged one. End the story. And you want to know something? That says everything you need to know about the company Wayfair. They didn't ask any questions. Donate the furniture. We could have kept the furniture. They wouldn't have known a thing. So that's the kind of company they are.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so Wednesday, aside from me doing the melodramatic entrance of the story, on Wednesday, they did have a walkout of these employees in Massachusetts at their main distribution center. Thousands of their employees didn't agree with what they were doing. Here's the thing, CV. They were building beds for these centers. I just call them centers. It's where children are kept. It's where people are kept when they're entering the southern border. Now, they're upset that Wayfair is building beds for the migrants that are coming in. Why?
Because they're brainwashed by the left-wing propaganda, and it's not their company. They don't own the company. Why are they saying they're upset about their company providing beds for these poor migrants? It's not their company. And I agree with Brian 100%. They should fire all their asses, like Reagan fired the the airline communicators, whatever they're called. And, they're all part of the union. He fired them all, just to send the message. But I remember that, AOC was releasing pictures of these children under these metallic blankets to keep warm. And they're making it sound like that's an atrocity, because they're under nice warm blankets, when that was a picture taken in 2015 when Obama was president. And when he did it, it was like, oh, look how nice Obama is. He gives them these nice warm thermo blankets, whatever they're called, And when they try to when they try to paint it as Donald Trump doing it, it's like, look how insulting he is by giving them warm blankets. They're just insane.
Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, Chet. I was just gonna say, I don't know, man. Call me a skeptic, but you got to read between the lines sometimes. Do you really think 1,000 or more employees of Wayfair all feel the same way? None of them feel like, hey, you shouldn't come to the southern border illegally. You shouldn't try to get in here illegally. And if you're detained, maybe you would want to sleep on a comfy bed, but you know what I'm saying? Like, all of them feel that
what
way.
do they want them to do? Sleep on mats? They're like, no, don't build them beds.
Well, that's
How
what
dare
I'm getting.
you?
That's what I'm getting at. Is you're telling me that they got 1,000 people working in this plant and all freaking 1,000 of them feel the same way and they're all gonna walk out? Bull crap. Let me tell you something. You know why they walked out? Because they probably belong to some leftist scumbag union that's bought and paid for lock, stock, and barrel by the
Isn't that every union, Brian?
And the DNC came down. They heard about this, and the DNC made one phone call to that union president and said, "Shut her down."
Unreal.
And it was probably Elizabeth Warren.
That's a good point.
I want to make a quick point. Wayfair was selling this bedroom furniture for $200,000. That's probably a markup of like 100%. So it probably cost them about $100,000 to produce all that, which money goes to pay the salaries of the people that walked out. And then Wayfair turns around and donates $100,000 to Red Cross for the border situation. So they're making exactly $0.
Right.
So they're not profiting.
Great point.
They're actually trying to help the children.
So what the leftists are actually doing is hurting the children coming through the southern border.
Yep.
Come on, folks, wake up. Wake up. Really, wake up. All right, well, listen, this Sunday, 3 to 5 on 949newsnow.com or freedomondeck.com, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can hear us live, and we're going to have Dan Perkins and Josh Bernstein. He's from the Josh Bernstein Show, and it's his first time on the program. And we're going to be talking about all things southern border. We're going to be talking about all things Iran. We're going to be talking about everything that there is to offer you politically. Don't forget to come to freedomondeck.com. Hey, Brian, CV, from me over here in North Sea, I say good day.
Keep America great.
Caggy, baby.
Friday night we'll be drinking Manischewitz, going out to terrorize Goyam. Stop and shake it, screwing chicks as long as we're home by Saturday morning. 'Cause hey!